Mr. Speaker, to debate.
Gentleman has the floor to debate the motion.
Thank you very much. So first, I do support the military portion of this bill, and if it was a standalone bill, I'd be co-sponsoring it. But when we talk about, and also I also support lower taxes. But when you make the decisions, when you make decisions on fiscal policy through a series of bills, it's really important to make sure that you're not only looking at the tax side of it, but the cost side, but you're looking at the benefit side as well. And that's what's missing from this bill and the broader issue of tax relief. Because yes, I know constituents want tax relief, but they also want to make sure that the state is providing, excuse me, the kind of services that they expect and that only the state can provide. So if I use kind of a family analogy, if I may, a growing family, like a growing state, if you have 2 or 3 kids and another one's on the way, maybe twins, the roof needs repair, you need to build an addition to the house. The first question you ask your spouse at the kitchen table is not how much less income can our family get by with next year? How much can we cut our income? No, the first question you ask your family is, what do we need to meet the needs of a growing family? So my concern about this bill is that in conjunction with other tax bills that we're looking at, adds up to over $400 million that we're going to take off the table every single year.
Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman, 22.
Mr. Speaker, point of order. Referring to pending legislation is not allowed by our book rules, and we have a bill here that's $253 million. The gentleman mentioned bills that totaled $400 million.
Good question. Maybe he was going to start talking about those bills. We could keep it back to this bill. Good job,
Yeah.
15. That would be nice.
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the objection. I'm not going to talk about any of those other bills. The only reason I raised that is because in the broader context of creating tax policy through a series of separate individual bills. And they can't be viewed in isolation, but that's the extent to which I was going to address that point.
Thank you, good gentleman. Continue.
Thank you very much. So what we need to do is look at the other side of the ledger, not how much are we taking off the table, which is collectively over $4 billion over 10 years. What are the needs that a growing state, a growing family needs? Well, we know from ITD alone, presented information to the legislators in December, over $5 billion in projects, not only maintenance projects, but also handling growth. And then we have over $1 billion in deferred and ignored school building maintenance beyond what last year's House Bill 521 is going to provide. We have needs for the public defender system, several tens of millions of dollars there, and then EMS services, coroner system, in-home care, and other healthcare projects. We need to be looking at this bill, not just in the context of how much it takes off the table, but relative to how much we need to have on the table. That's what a responsible business does. They do cost-benefit analysis, not cost analysis. And quite frankly, I think it's pretty hard to justify this when at the same time we're borrowing $1 billion for at taxpayer expense for the interest. How could we need to have to borrow money and yet at the same time $1 billion and then take $4 billion off the table over the same period of time? So I think that before we automatically pass this bill because it sounds good, because it's a tax relief, you also have to ask your question, who's getting the relief? And so in the handout, analysis that was done by the Idaho Center for Fiscal Policy, the average Idahoan family making between $55,000 and $92,000, they're getting a whopping $127. That's maybe enough to buy a couple of tanks of gas. And if you're lucky enough to be making $150,000 a year, you can get $264. This bill is not going to provide the kind of tax relief that your constituents are looking for or going to think that they're going to be getting. So I feel that, look, at the end of the day, You have to be smart and efficient with taxpayer dollars, but you have to balance that with smart investments for your future. Otherwise, you will not have what you need for that future. So we respectfully request that we step back and make sure we do a more thorough analysis of what the state's needs before we start taking money off the table. Thank you.